Hello, beautiful people. My name is Athol. Let's jump into it. And today I want to give you a framework for figuring out what your expectations should be in terms of how quickly you can fix your marriage and make it better, and how likely you are to be successful at it. Because there's a huge degree of variance in terms of how fast things can improve. Some people can make a few changes and it's almost instantly fixed within a month or two, and other people have absolutely insurmountable problems for which there is no hope. And this has been something I've been struggling with a great deal, and a lot of what I do in the very early parts of coaching is try and figure out, where we are in terms of the degree of difficulty and how long things are going to take. So to my mind, there's about 5 different levels of difficulty, and we'll start with the easiest ones and we'll work to the hardest ones. So level 1, this is just basic attraction issues, basic communication issues, basic comfort building things. So you've stopped doing the things at the beginning of the relationship that were creating attraction. You've kind of let yourself go a little bit. You're not terribly fun. All you have to do is stop doing the unattractive things and start doing the more attractive things. You have to start hanging out and talking more. You have to start figuring out what each other's love languages are. Do more touch, do more acts of service, do more words of affirmation, whatever it is. And if that's the only degree of problem, the only degree of difficulty, all of this is absolutely fixable and is going to be fixed really quickly, and you can have really incredible turnarounds within a month or two. Because the fundamental structure of the relationship is still good. Everything is still pretty sound. People still like each other. They still want it all to work. It's just, well, we were doing some horribly unattractive things. Stop doing that. Start doing more attractive things. And it's all pretty simple. Level 2 degree of difficulty. And you have to understand that everything that was going wrong with the level 1 degree of difficulty is also happening in situations where we're at the level 2 degree of difficulty. And that is when you've started to have damaged the underlying foundations and structures of the relationship. You've started creating situations where you can't just stop doing the unattractive things and start doing the attractive things, because you're trapped into some sort of logistical problems where you can't just do that. So something like you're working opposite shifts. Well, and that's the primary problem in the relationship. It's a logistical problem. But you don't get to spend much time together. You don't see each other all that much. So there's not much opportunity to display your high degrees of attractiveness. There's not much opportunity to talk, not much opportunity to create comfort. The solution is to somehow get on the same shift. Or it's something like, okay, you really do need to work on your physicality. You really do need to hit the gym because you are 50, 60, 70 pounds overweight. Well, you can't just snap your fingers and that's all gone and fixed in a month or two. That's going to take 6, 7, 9 months, 10 months, a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it is, because it's now a sort of a structural problem in terms of the attractiveness. But this is all fixable, and I think you should be hopeful and optimistic and positive about it all, but you do have to manage your expectations because it's not all going to be cleared away instantly. You can be working on attractiveness, you can be talking more, you can be creating comfort. It's just going to take a little bit longer to get there. On to level 3 degree of difficulty, and just like level 2 had level 1's problems tied in, level 3 has level 1 and level 2's problems tied in. And this is when you're running into the problem of some sort of emotional blockage problem, whatever it is. And these can be things like someone has some degree of mental illness, someone has some sort of abuse history, there's some sort of emotional affair going on, or you've done some sort of truly crappy things in the relationship where you've inflicted serious hurts or pain or whatever, and they're still kind of sort of holding on to them. So you can work on attraction, you can work on comfort, you can be fixing the structural problems in the relationship, but if you still haven't said sorry for the time you accidentally shot your wife with a nail gun, That's the thing that is holding everything back. And once you're into this degree of emotionality, and I would also include emotional affairs too. I think, did I say that? Emotional affairs are all part of it. Because you can't connect to someone, you can't fix the level 1 and 2 problems perfectly if they are connecting to someone else. So all of this is going to take a lot longer. It is going to be far more difficult, and you're probably going to need some degree of outside help. And often you're working on the level 1 and 2 parts of the problem to get yourself in the position where you can kind of gently but steadily force the issue on fixing the level 3 degrees of problem. On to level 4. If level 3 was emotions, level 4, it's gone physical. And all of level 1, 2, and 3 are in the situations where the level 4 degree of problems exist. And this is when someone has some sort of just, uncontrolled health condition. They've had some sort of, because you can't connect to someone and have a normal relationship with someone who is always sick. They can't necessarily respond the way you would like them to, or they would like to. And anytime someone is not treating a health problem, that's your sign that there's something emotional going on. And because there's the physical and the emotional going on, there's always some sort of logistical workaround nightmare that you're doing to sustain the relationship around level 3, and 4 problems. And while all that's happening, so it's a level 2 thing, and while all that's happening, you're not acting attractive, the level 1 thing. So all our level 1, 2, and 3 exist in the level 4 scenario. So uncontrolled health conditions, they've been the victim of some sort of physical abuse, some sort of physical assault, or there's some sort of physical affair that is happening. And I know that might sound harsh to people, like you're equating a physical affair with some sort of physical abuse with some sort of uncontrolled physical health condition. I'm just saying that they're really, really difficult once it's gone into someone's physical body in terms of how they can respond. On to level 5. And this is when I think it is impossible. And you should give up trying. You should stop working on it, because all your time, energy, and effort spent on this relationship is now just wasted. There is no hope of fixing this, and you just need to, settle up and start moving on with your life. And you get to a level 5 degree of difficulty when you have some sort of truly critical problem in one of those other 4 levels. So let me explain what I mean by that. Let's take a level 1 problem. It's some sort of attraction issue, some sort of true comfort issue. It assumes that they were into you at some point, and you can stop doing the unattractive things and do the attractive things, and then they are attracted again. Well, if they were just never into you and they married you for completely separate reasons other than they were into you and wanted to be with you, like they married you just to escape from their family, they married you just to get a green card, they married you to be some sort of closeted gay or lesbian person, and you're going to be their smokescreen. Or if you're just straight up not their type, there's nothing you can do to fix the attraction issue. It's always going to be a blockage. They're always going to never be really into you. So that at some point you just have to give it up and say, this is never going to work. Or the level 5 variant of the level 2 problems. It's logistical. Well, it means there's just some sort of totally insurmountable, just logistical problem that is never going to be fixed, can't be worked on. This is when people live in separate cities endlessly, or separate countries, or just your basic separation, where there is no chance to be together to experience communication, attraction, and comfort building. Or you're working like crazy to pay off the debt, and they keep going out and getting new credit cards and running it up. Or they will just never work, or whatever it is, and you can only carry them for so long. When it's like this, after a certain point, it's just like you have to give it up. Or the level 5 variant of the level 3 problems is when they have just had that mental snapping and they are just mentally done with you, with the relationship, but they're still here treading water because they're getting some kind of benefits from the relationship. And if you can look back and there's just some sort of critical moment of neglect or something, and it doesn't matter how much you apologize, they are always holding on to it, and they are always quietly livid at you. After a certain point, there's just no point trying to work on it. The level 5 variant of the level 4 problems is when they just absolutely will not give up their physical affairs. They are enraged that you have discovered them and want them to stop. They have some sort of physical abuse history, or they've been victims of violence enough, or they are violent, where it's just not stopping. It's always getting to that point where it's continuing on in some way. You have to give it up. Or if they have health issues that they are absolutely defiant about not fixing, and that you're basically watching them slowly poison themselves, whether it's totally uncontrolled diabetes where they don't give a crap about their blood sugars, whether they got lung cancer and they're still smoking, whatever it is, they are just actively wrecking their bodies, and they don't care about them and they don't care about you. After a certain point, you just have to stop. And with all of these things, when you have that level 5 degree of difficulty, you're probably seeing bits and pieces of those things in all 4 areas. They never were attracted. They have some sort of logistical workaround to create space because they're not attracted. They have some sort of emotional hang-up and screw-up because of all of this. And sometimes that gets so bad it starts going physical in some way, whether it's depression or health issues or whatever it is. So I think that's the basic framework. If it's just level 1, quick and easy. Level 2, it's going to take a little more time. Level 3, you're probably going to need some sort of outside help. And it's going to need to be methodical, and you're going to need to control your emotions and really leverage things to work on it. Level 4, very, very difficult. It's going to take quite some time. You're absolutely going to need outside help. And level 5, it doesn't matter what you do, what you say, what you read, the help you get, nothing will work. Something else that is a hallmark of that level 5 degree of difficulty is you work really hard at this relationship while they aren't really working at all. And yet you seem to have moments where it's good and there's progress and things are getting better. And then something always happens to make it worse again. Something always happens to make it go backwards again. And that's okay once in a while. But if you start seeing it as a repetitive cycle, far more often than not, the partner who's just not interested is doing things to actively sabotage making the relationship better. And if you're in a relationship with someone who is actively sabotaging making the relationship better, after a certain point, you just have to give it up, say they don't want me, they don't want this relationship, and I can't carry it anymore. So that's my basic framework. I know this was a little bit longer than most of the videos, but I think it's going to be really helpful for people to figure out what their expectations should be. That's it from me. Hope you liked the video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good internet stuff, and I will talk to you soon.